Hey everyone, it is Michael. Thanks for joining from whatever part of the world you're in. Right now in the US, we've just hit spring and it is a great time to actually be out in the orchard and to get things done. So today I'm going to give you 10 important activities you need to get started with right away. That's today's topic. Let's get into it right now. All right, y'all, spring is upon us, and Sahara and I are super excited to bring you 10 important activities you need to get going with right away. And no matter where you are on this planet, there are certainly things that you can take away and apply to your backyard orchard. Reason number one, buy your fruit trees right now. Get going. There's no reason to hold off any longer. I recently did a video on 7 reasons why to buy fruit trees right now. Check that out. But whether you go to your local nursery, or you go to your big box store, or you purchase online, the main thing is to get started and buy your fruit trees. And then you got to do a little bit of planning. You got to figure out what kind of fruit you like. You got to figure out what's going to grow in your area. You got to figure out where in your yard you want to place fruit trees. And there's other considerations to think about. And here's footage from a recent haul where I bought some moringa, some citrus, some mangoes, some tropicals. And I got these all set up. And most of these that you see here are now in the ground. But yes, step one is actually get out, buy trees, and get them onto your property. Activity number 2, touch up pruning. And let me emphasize the word touch up because the last thing that you want to do is do too much pruning at this time of year when your trees are putting on flowers, setting fruit. You do not want to over prune, very modest pruning. What you see here is a nectarine tree that has gone through a lot over the past couple of years. It always sets heavy. Last year it overloaded with fruit, broke branches. It's recovered. It's looking great. And so we're going to do just a little bit of very mild touch up. At this point, we're going to take a little bit off the top and maybe just a little bit off the right side that's a little bit heavy and making the tree just a little bit lopsided. But that's number 2, touch up pruning. Reason number 3, plant your trees now. Now is the perfect time to get your tropicals and all your trees in the ground for that matter. We have gotten through winter. We are in spring. You want to get your trees in the ground, get them acclimated before the peak of summer hits, and give them a nice full growing season before the next winter comes. So it's now the time to get your trees in the ground. Look what I did here. I bought a couple cherry trees and I did a 2-in-1 planting. I took 2 trees, put them into one hole, and the reason why you want to do that is to make economic use of your property and get more trees into your orchard. Same concept, rinse and repeat, this time with the raspberries. I have a red raspberry and a yellow raspberry, and I'm doing the same thing. And the reason I'm doing this again is to maximize my space. I have almost 100 trees on the property. I'm running out of places to put fruit trees, and I want to get the most use out of the land. So this is a great way to get that value, to get that economy, to get that productivity with a 2-in-1 planting. Oh, and by the way, if you're enjoying this content, now would be an excellent time to like and subscribe, share this content with friends, and save it for later for future reference. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the video. All right, let's get back to it. Number 4, harvest your fruit. I'm going to do a video coming up about the concept of successive ripening. That is the concept of being able to have fruit year round, no matter what the season, having fruit that's ripening in your orchard. And so when you're able to achieve that, you have situations where you need to make sure that you get the fruit off the tree and that you're actually enjoying the fruit before they spoil. And what you see is my tangelo tree where the fruit is starting to expire, but we've been able to salvage the last bit of good fruit. We're putting it in this blender with the blackberries, with the loquats. We're going to blend it up. We're going to enjoy this smoothie that we're going to make fresh out the orchard and get the nutrition and not let anything go to waste. Man, this one's important. Number 5, feed your fruit trees. Just like we need food and nutrition into our bodies to keep us healthy, to give us energy, to build up our immune system, your fruit trees need the same thing. They need it for root development. They need it to produce flowers. They need it to help provide quality and very good tasting fruit. Comes from the nutrition that it is extracting from food sources. So it's very important. I go all organic. I'm passionate about it. I want to have a very healthy, safe quality of food. It's one of the main reasons why I grow an orchard. I recently did a video, so if you go to my channel, check out my library. I recently did a video of how I grow all organic in my orchard. Number 6, your plants that have suckers, go ahead and remove them. They've been growing out from all the rain over winter, and now it's time to get in and take out these suckers so it doesn't sap the resource from your tree. So that's really important. This is a pomegranate right here. I have 4 different varieties on the property, and they are very prone to growing lots of suckers. We just cleaned out a bunch of suckers. Here are the suckers here. There's a good 15 to 20 that we cleaned out. So we got this area a lot cleaner, and we left a couple. I want to leave a couple right here, one there, one in the back, so we'll get some new growth and development. But that's what we want. We don't want there to be too many shoots or trunks coming out of the pomegranate. The recommended is somewhere around, I don't know, 6, 8, 10, something like that. And we've got about 8 or so. So we're in good shape. We've got this cleaned up. And now the tree is going to be ready to produce fruit and focus on producing fruit for this coming season. Activity number 7, protect your fruit. You work too hard, we work too hard to get our fruit trees growing and producing a harvest to let birds and rodents and other animals take all of our fruit. No, I don't mind sharing a little bit, but I certainly don't want to share and give away all of my fruit to animals. So my biggest problem is birds here on the property. I don't have a lot of squirrels, don't have a lot of raccoons and other animals that climb up in the tree. It's birds. Fortunately for me, they're not very high IQ. I can put this makeshift covering over them, and it actually works to keep the birds out. My loquats were starting to take on damage, and this covering helped protect them so that we can protect the harvest. Now, I'll give you a little tip. I do wait until I actually see bird pressure, some damage on the trees before I put them up, because the birds tell me that the fruit is actually ripe. So I wait for them to give me the signal, then I go ahead and cover it and protect the fruit. By the way, let me give a little plug for loquats. They're such a great fruit. And one of the things I like about loquat is they're a nice bridge between kind of winter fruits and summer fruits. So they come right in the spring, right when you have that lull, right after citrus and before peaches and plums. Activity number 8, mulch your trees. This is another big one as well. What I like to do is we often have leaves that fall into our property. The common practice is to take those leaves and put them into the green bin and throw them away. No, we don't want to do that. We want to take those leaves and we want to put them around the trees, and we want to provide a protective layer for our fruit trees. Provides nutrition, protects it from the heat, keeps in moisture. So many great reasons to mulch and pull those mulch around your trees. One of the things I like to do is I like to go around the neighborhood and find people that have the tree trimmers and the people that are taking all the vegetation out of their property. They're chipping it up. I go there, I take my barrel, my recycling bin, and I take all that mulch and bring it back to my property. And here we have Sahara, the guardian of the orchard. She's standing on a big pile of mulch, and she's going to help me get this spread around onto the various trees. Okay, here's a quick example. Remember those raspberries we planted earlier? Well, here we are putting the mulch around it, right? So we take the mulch, we put it around the trees. You want to get at least 4 or 5 inches if you can. That's a minimum. I like to get up to, if possible, 8 to 12 inches in some cases, but I like to get to 8. That seems to be a nice sweet spot. 8 inches of mulch seems to really do wonders in providing a great environment for the trees to grow. All right, we're on the home stretch. I just want to take a moment to share some of the happenings in the orchard. Cool hummingbirds are going around and they're doing their thing, helping to pollinate the different flowers and plants and edibles in the property. Really cool to watch. We have woodpeckers. First time I've seen a woodpecker in my property. So we've got this massive crow that's overlooking the woodpecker, hunting for termites, I assume. And then I've seen these incredibly large tank-like bees, these bumblebees on the property. They have this deep, very low kind of buzz sound. They're big and round, but really interesting to watch nature in action. 2 more to go. Number 9, water your trees. Now, in many places in the country and the world, we've gotten a lot of rain, and I've been spoiled because I haven't had to water my trees very much for the last 4 or 5 months. But this will sneak up on you as the weather changes and it gets warmer. You get out of the habit of watering trees, and all of a sudden you look up and your trees are struggling. So make sure that you're watering your trees. Going back to the cherry tree example, I want to show you a little bit about how I water. I think I'll do a video just providing a lot of details about how I do it, but here's the short version. The short version is I take a water hose and I put it at a pretty decent pressure and I let it run for 5, 10, 20 minutes, however long it takes to actually saturate the hole and saturate the well. That seems to work very well for me. And the other thing to keep in mind, if your trees are putting on flowers, if your trees have fruit, you definitely want to make sure that you get water and make sure they don't dry out. Here's the avocado tree. It's looking very, very healthy. Love seeing those flowers on the avocado tree. And finally, number 10 is pull your weeds. This is the one you're probably procrastinating on the most if you're like me, which is getting out here and pulling the weeds. But you got to do it, because if you don't do it now, they're just going to spread and they're going to produce flowers, and the wind's going to blow and it's going to create more weeds. So you want to get out there, you want to pull them out by the roots as you see here. And this is just a task that we have to get done. Again, we've had a lot of rain all over the US this year, and so the weeds have come. The weeds are the vanguard in the orchard. They're the easiest thing to grow, and we've got to get them out. And that is task number 10. But what we like to do here at Backyard Orchard Dreams is we like to turn a negative and flip it to a positive. So we're going to take those weeds, we put it into the hot compost pile, we put it with the other vegetation, we let it break down over several months, and we then use that as food, nutrition to go back to the fruit trees. So there you have it. Those are the 10 essential orchard activities that you need to get done in spring. And let me remind you that no matter where you are, there's some things that you can apply to your region. Some of these things are universal that can be done at various times of the year. So I will leave you with this fruit salad tree. This tree is a 4-in-1. Really happy about this tree. Those are apricots right there growing. It also has plums. It also has nectarines, also has peaches. We'll flip back over. You'll see some of the flowers. There's 4 different flowers. There's white flowers right there for the apricots. The nectarines, those are blackberries actually in front, but the nectarines are right there, and peaches as well. So just a unique tree that we'll spotlight again in the future. And thank you so much for joining. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.